normal people become terrified of criminals.
Shots were just fired. Police just came out and told us, and we're headed there right now.
They become terrified of their own government.
From Newsweek, Disney faces renewed boycott calls. It's not just Disney, but I love how this made it to Newsweek. They say things are heating up for Disney with the company facing fresh boycott calls, continuing on from its announcement that the brand was ceasing advertising with X, formerly Twitter, just days ago. Several leading global brands, including Disney, announced they're boycotting X. Elon Musk then said, "Go F yourselves." And in response to this, we got a bunch of people on X posting photos of them canceling their Disney Plus subscriptions. Now, I just want to stress, I canceled mine a long time ago after Disney Plus thanked the security forces in China who are running the Uyghur concentration camps where they force women to get abortions. And let's just say it is very, very brutal what they're doing to those people. So I'm not too happy with what Disney's doing, and I don't want them to have my money. But now it's piling up. They're also calling for boycotts of all of these other companies. So it'll be interesting. Will X be able to survive just off of subscription memberships? I kind of feel like...
How much is the ad revenue for... How much is
I know
their
Apple
ad
was
revenue a year?
$100 million a year.
Right.
Yeah.
That
I
they
think it's
lost.
a
That's a
collective.
lot.
Andrew Tate said he would do $1 million. Didn't you say you'd do so?
He said he'd do $1 million a month.
Million a month to
that's
advertise
12.
X
I said
on X.
$100K a month. I said $100K a month for 3 months.
And
I think he said $1 million, so we have another $1 million. Can we
Babylon Bees doing
confirm?
$500,000. They were doing $250,000 a month, but they doubled it to $500,000.
So then you're talking about $50 million a year after stuff like that, and it's probably closer to $30 million a year, where it's like I think a guy like him doesn't really care that much about that type of numbers.
Yeah.
I wonder what they're going to do. I thought maybe that they would end up shuttering this centralized service and turn it into a decentralized protocol, because they've been talking a lot about using Nostr, and he's been working with Jack
Who's that?
Dorsey. Elon.
Yeah.
Nostr is like, what was your question?
I was saying who's using
that they would like join the Fediverse and then make Twitter X more of a protocol that you would use, like a decentralized peer-to-peer communication system. So like we'd all host it on our devices, and if like half of them go down, the system's still running on everybody else's device. You just port in. So it would cut the costs of servers. And I don't know what their bulk costs are. I know when he bought the company, slashed a bunch of the employee count.
This is actually a really good point. This could be a clever play for Elon, where they finally get Twitter onto a decentralized system where no one can be banned ever again.
Yeah, he says it's not even up to us.
Yeah. So if they go, I don't know if you're saying Nostr.
Nostr, yeah.
But or what's the other one? The Fediverse.
Mm-hmm. The Fediverse.
So these are like protocols where anyone can plug into any other one, basically like the internet. If Elon Musk says Twitter is now going to be open source and federated, that means you could be signed up for Gab and tell someone, oh, if you're follow me, Ryan at gab.com. And then if someone's on X, they can type that in and follow you wherever they are. So this would mean that X, Twitter, whatever, could no longer ban anybody.
Wouldn't that be like destroying his investment though?
If the company is going to go under because Advertisers canceled.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, well, the company's dead unless we open source and federate.
Also, if you open source, you could put stuff in where if there is advertisement for every $1 million Disney pulls, another censorship person gets fired, and just have that trigger set up and just be like, well, it's up to you. It's not out of my control right now. The thing's set up. HR person goes for $100,000 and $1 million. We go a censorship person.
Oh, like smart contracts.
Smart contract, it just triggers firings according to how much money Disney pulls. Sort of hold them hostage on that leverage.
I kind of get the vibe that this is the direction. Not only would it be great for humanity to have a system like Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, on the Fediverse. I mean, that's the big deal. You got Minds and Mastodon and things like that on the Fediverse. Gab, you mentioned earlier. But Elon has blatantly stated he's not in it for the money, and he never was. He's in it for humanity and free speech and things like that.
I bet his investors are like, yeah, we're kind of in it for the money a bit.
The CEO had to come out with a statement being like, well, we really liked Elon's color.
I mean, he has he has a lot of investors who are probably like, yeah, humanity.
But you could also run ads on a decentralized service. There's no need that it would ever really even disrupt the ad revenue.
And then actually he could come out and say, we're going to decentralize the service, federate, which means we're not going to be responsible for any hate speech because it's out of our hands, and we can still control advertising. So we can make all the money with none of the downside. That's a play right there.
Would it mean if you federated that the advertisements get seen by more people too, theoretically?
Oh, that's an interesting concept.
Probably not.
Federated
Probably
advertising is a nice way to go in the future.
It is, but he would have to. So basically, the way that would work is the idea of federated social media is, imagine if, like how the internet works, you can open a browser and go to any website. you would be a member on X, and you could choose to follow any other federated account from any other website. So let's say, you're on X and someone's on Facebook. You could go onto X and follow someone's Facebook.
But the owners of X, if they're in the Fediverse, could say, we want to blacklist all accounts from Facebook.com. And then you can't see it through the Facebook node. But if you go to like Mastodon, you can still see the Facebook node list. They get to choose, whereas something like Nostr is way more open and you can't stop anything.
But I think it's fair that a service can say, we don't want to connect to this service. That's fine. But if Elon was selling ads on X, they would not appear outside of X. But if he federates, you could sign up for, Truth Social. If Truth Social federated, you could follow Trump on X from his Truth Social account. So it basically connects everything.
Does True Social have to allow it though?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So Truth, isn't Truth Mastodon?
It was based on Mastodon.
I can't imagine they're going to want to though, because isn't that the whole reason that Trump's not tweeting is because he has
Right. They want to make money.
They want to make money, and they're like, you can't go over to our competitors.
The bigger question I have for you guys, because you guys make a deeply, deeply offensive and shocking, edgy content, is. I mean, what do you think about these companies? I mean, Disney recently announced that they're misaligned with the public.
One of the problems with like companies like Disney in general is sort of like Coke, where you go, even if someone goes, oh, I'm going to boycott that, and you go, just so you know, they own all the other 45 others. Like it's impossible to even remember who they own and stuff like that.
Do they own
There's
this?
It's very.
No.
I bet you Coke does, or someone.
Yeah, probably.
You've seen the thing where it's like 3 companies own every single.
I mean, they
bag.
own
all Unilever
ESPN.
just owns
They own
everything.
ESPN. They own. I mean, my main issue with Disney is I'm banned from all their parks for life. But
Tell that story. Tell that story.
I can't. Really, no.
Well, you're not. The bottom line is streaking is a nighttime activity.
No, I don't know. I don't really watch any Disney stuff. Like, I'm not like into Star Wars. Like, you guys watch like Star Wars, like The Mandalorian?
I only watched
You're
it
not into that stuff.
after episode 1 came out.
But they make like a ton of movies where you don't even realize that was a Disney film.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I was done with Mandalorian when they fired Gina Carano. I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, and that's the start of it. But so I had a year membership, and then I bought the year in advance. When the Uyghur Muslim thing came out, where they thanked the security forces, I'm like, yo, those people are like mercilessly torturing human beings, and we all know. So I'm done with this. And then with Mandalorian, I mean, Gina Carano, that whole stuff, I was like, this company's garbage.
Yeah. The crazy thing is, like, their stock is not doing well. So you think that they actually would be
But
like,
isn't
yeah,
that
we
the
have
whole
to stop
reason
doing
that
this stuff.
Bob Iger got brought back? Is because he was going to stop all this nonsense?
Yeah.
I feel like that was the whole thing, is that Bob Iger, the other guy went in, right?
Yeah.
That guy was tanking it. And then he sort of came back from the grave being like, I'm taking the reins
coming
back.
Yeah.
So I feel like to some degree he's being
He
held
probably will
hostage.
put a kind of an end to some of this stuff, but obviously.
But it's probably just ceremonial, right? They're saying, oh, look, board members, we have brought Bob back, and so things will be okay. He never actually committed to changing any ideology.
Well, I
It's
bet
just
with
a
the
change of
movie, like,
leadership.
because all their movies keep bombing, but like the thing is, like, those cycles those movies probably went into development 4 years ago, when probably at the time you go like, oh yeah, this stuff is gonna be around forever. We're gonna all this rah-rah
This is a
stuff.
great idea.
Yeah, this is a great idea right now, and nobody's thinking.
Everyone's
hey,
going to watch Marvels 40 times.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if it came out today, it would be a huge hit. And then
And now
it's
I
like-
watched it 35 tops.
And they probably their production schedule is like, yeah, this will be out like 2022, and then it gets pushed back 2 years or whatever, a year, and then people are like, this sucks.
I just want to point out, this
Who's
is a
it made
private,
by?
It's owned by a private company, Spindrift, and its founder. They have 105 employees, and he grew up on a farm in Massachusetts. I think that's what they said. And so,
I think you dig a little further. That guy's last
quality
name is Pepsi.
Yeah, they took a $29 million investment from Moelis and Company LLC in 2020.
Spindrifted.
Yeah,
and that's owned by
and
George
another
Soros,
$20 million
probably.
by VMG Partners. So those are the two big companies. That came in.
Where do I find that?
That was on Wikipedia history.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Subsidiary of a subsidiary.
I mean, they are a
Right.
solid product. They don't
Soros
have any-
No,
Incorporated.
that's what they do. That's what they do. They like Starbucks. This is what, I read this in the newspaper, so maybe it's not true, but my understanding is Starbucks will open a coffee shop and call it like Mom and Pops. And then you go there like, oh, I don't want to go to Starbucks, and you're actually buying from Starbucks.
Yeah, I got you. Starbucks is my favorite one, how they play all this stuff, because a lot of times they'll do, some super progressive thing about like refugees, and then people get mad, and then they replace it with veterans, and they get mad, and they replace it back with refugees. And they go back and forth between refugees and veterans, trying to find the sweet spot.
So the company Moelis and Company LLC is a publicly traded multinational investment firm. So there's very likely BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard are involved.
Well, we got to check. We got to check.
20 minutes. Yeah, we should check.
No, enjoy your BlackRock beverage, man. Whatever you do.
They don't put money in
The
everything.
smooth taste of BlackRock.
I can wait. Let
Oh,
me
that's
try.
a good name for a drink.
It tastes like a young millennial couple losing a bid on their first home.
Yeah.
But I'll look into it while you
Mine
guys are
tastes like
talking.
foreclosure.
That's my favorite flavor.
Yeah. That's so funny.
So anyway,
Your
back
cool
to
hip beverage is owned by
maybe.
Vanguard.
What about Liquid? We got Liquid Death over here too. I hear they are based AF. Perhaps I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're pretty. Yeah, I don't think they've gone public yet. I think they're talking about going public, but I don't think they have.
You guys want to know a secret?
I heard the Liquid Death was partially owned by the Clinton Foundation.
You guys want to know a secret?
Yeah.
So Liquid Death.
You
is
pour
like,
them out and just put tap water in it and just give it to your guests?
It says no. It says Death with plastic on those cans.
Yeah.
Look, I like Liquid Death, but there's plastic in those cans.
Okay.
Plastic in cans?
All
Yeah.
cans are lined with plastic.
Oh, they have a lining.
So if you take
It's what everyone used to say to Pamela Anderson. There's plastic in those cans.
Nice.
But if you take something that will eat away the metal, it
Yeah.
leaves a plastic bag.
Oh.
Yeah, and you'll see the drink in the plastic bag, and you can.
Oh,
check.
the coating?
Yeah, the whole inside is coated. So we actually did it. My
That's
brother
the
did
skin from the lizard people.
it. That's how they make your canned beverages.
Actually, this is disconcerting. The 6th ingredient on here is adrenochrome. So,
Nice.
that settles
no,
that.
Liquid Death's actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's also
I like it.
Fairly based, low sugar. I
yeah,
like
it's
it.
also like with the reason it's bad to have plastics when it's in the sun. So keeping it out of the sun supposedly negates it. That's what I've heard.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.